the devil is trying as much as possible to reduce the population in the world. Now, this is for one reason. The devil wants people to lose their life before they get to receive salvation. Because if you die without receiving salvation, you are going to join him in hell. So this is what the devil is trying to do. And it is terrible because he is going to use humans to do this. He's going to use those in power, those that have the authority to do this. We do not know how they are going to do this, but there is going to be a massive depopulation just because the devil wants to pull people to him, because he knows that if people get to stay in the world, they will still have the opportunity to hear the message of salvation and they'll be able to receive salvation. Now, once you receive salvation in our Lord Jesus Christ, you will be able to join him in heaven. But if you do not receive salvation, you will not be able to join Jesus in heaven, and then you will end up going to hell. So please listen to this message that I'm about to share with you. It is a revelation that was given to a dear sister, and it contains vital information that we need to know how the devil is going to depopulate humans so that they will not be able to receive salvation, and then they will be able to end up in hell. This is why it is important that we need to start going out there to share the gospel, because we do not know when someone is going to lose his or her life without hearing the message of salvation. So please, if you have the good news with you, if you have received salvation, the next thing you are supposed to do is to let your brother or your sister know about Jesus. Let them hear about Jesus, and then let them hear about salvation so that they will not also end up going to hell. Because you do not know when your sister or that your brother is going to die. Day in, day out, people are dying, and they are dying without knowing Jesus. They are dying without finding salvation. And it is so terrible. There are so many people that can live in this world and live a good life, but then because they did not receive salvation, when they die, they end up going to hell. We do not want these things to happen, okay? So I want to use this great opportunity to thank and bless the people of South Africa, our evangelism team in South Africa. They did a great work on Saturday, which is on the 28th of September. They went out there in 2 locations to preach the gospel. And by the grace of God, God has been so gracious to us that they were able to win so many souls. They were able to have the courage to talk to people, the homeless, those that are lost and do not know what to do. These sisters and brothers in South Africa was able to talk to them for them to know about Jesus. What a wonderful thing they have done. The Bible says that when one soul repents and receive salvation, the whole of heaven rejoice. So I want to thank God, and then I pray that God will bless them, most especially the coordinators that were able to organize this event. Thank you so much, Sister Lauren. Thank you so much, Sister Beverly, and then the rest of the team. I might not be able to mention your names, but God knows you and God has seen what you have done. I pray that God will continue to bless you and then manifest himself to you, and then protect and guide you and your family for leaving your business, for leaving your work and attending to God's call. Is a very, very, very powerful decision that you have taken. Now, to the team in Kenya, Evangelist Seth and his team, I pray that God will bless you. Now, the team in Ghana, Evangelist Dako and the team, they are still in the villages in Ghana as I'm speaking now, still spreading the message. So God has been so merciful to this ministry, Great Miracles Avenue. We are going out there to spread the gospel. Now, our next destination that God has given to us is Philippines. So if you are in the country of Philippines, you do not know anyone in Philippines as of now. So if you are in the country of Philippines, please pick up my email address and reach out to me so that we can help us organize this event in the country of Philippines, and then we can share the gospel to win souls there. God is taking us to so many countries because we do not have time. There is no time for this. We need to go out there to spread the gospel. Wherever you are, also make sure that you also spread the gospel in your community, your neighborhood, because what the devil is bringing is very terrible. Okay, so I want you to pay attention, and then please pray and seek discernment over this message that I am about to share with you.
Hi, I am happy to send you this mail. I hope my experience is published anytime soon. My name is Cherish Val. I want to begin by making something very clear. I am not against Bill Gates or any prominent authority. I don't have personal grievances with them. And this isn't about spreading hatred or stirring conflict. What I am about to share will expose what was revealed to me about Bill Gates and others with power are planning against the human race. I know this will trigger a negative response from his lovers, but sometimes when God chooses to reveal the hidden plans of the people we trust and look up to, we must be willing to see the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. It's not a matter of fighting them or creating division. It's about being open to what God is showing us. When these visions came, they were disturbing, and I know that many will resist the idea that those in power might have darker agendas. But we must remember that God speaks in many ways. Not everything he reveals will sit well with our understanding, yet we can't ignore it. As Christians, we are called to respond with love, not hatred. It's not our place to judge harshly, but rather to seek wisdom and discernment, to pray for guidance, and to share what God shows us in truth and love. I was in my final year at Georgetown University. I would love to keep my course of study off from the public. Like many students, I had dreams of making a difference in the world, of understanding how power works, and of how I could use my knowledge to help others. I saw something I wished I could unsee, something about the people we trust, the ones shaping policies and decisions behind the scenes. Yet, every time I tried to talk to someone about what I had seen, I was met with skepticism. People dismissed it as paranoia or conspiracy, saying I was focusing too much on things beyond my control. No matter how hard I tried, no one seemed to believe me, and that left me feeling isolated. These visions are never easy to accept, but they are necessary if we are to remain aware of the bigger picture. In what seemed like just 2 minutes from my observation, I had an open vision, vivid and clear, as if it were happening right in front of me. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. My physical surroundings faded into the background, and what I saw next completely took over my senses. In this vision, I saw people going about their routines. That's when I noticed something strange. A group of well-dressed individuals, led by Bill Gates, were moving from house to house in the neighborhood. They were conducting what appeared to be a census, but it didn't feel like any normal census I'd heard of. I watched as they knocked on doors, speaking with each household and taking down information. At first, I thought it was a harmless activity, just routine. But there was something suspicious about how organized they seemed, as if they were gathering much more than just names and numbers. But I couldn't tell at that point. Eventually, they made their way to my house. I wasn't expecting them, but when I opened the door, there stood Bill Gates himself, along with a few others, clipboard in hand. They introduced themselves politely, explaining that they were conducting a census. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it than that. The way they were taking down information felt too precise. So I asked why exactly they are doing this. Is this just a simple census, or is there something more going on? Bill Gates paused for a moment, looking at me with an expression that seemed both calm and calculated. He said these exact words: "We've been assigned to reduce the population," he said, almost as if it were a casual task. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. It wasn't just about counting people. It was about controlling numbers. I asked them who gave them this assignment. Bill Gates didn't answer right away. Instead, he glanced over his shoulder and pointed toward a sleek black Porsche car parked outside the street. The car was beautiful, but what caught my attention wasn't its design. It was a license plate. Boldly displayed on it was a single word: beast. Whoever was inside that car remained unseen, the tinted windows hiding any glimpse of the person giving the orders. I strained to see, but it was no use. I didn't know who they were, but the number plate left little doubt in my mind. I couldn't stay silent after hearing Bill Gates mention reducing the population. My mind raced. I was courageous enough to ask him when exactly they planned to do that. That's reducing the population. He seemed almost annoyed that I had asked, as if my question had crossed a line I wasn't supposed to approach. He shook his head slightly as though disappointed before responding. By the year 2025 to 2030, we will be finished. His irritation only confirmed what I feared, that this plan was real and it was unfolding right in front of us. Suddenly, I snapped back to reality. The vision ended as abruptly as it had begun. It took me a moment to catch my breath, my heart racing as I tried to process everything. There was no denying the urgency of the message. It wasn't something I could brush aside or forget. I knew I had been shown this for a reason, and I couldn't keep it to myself. Christians need to be alert, to be watchful of what they eat, where they go, and the choices they make. The devil's plans were moving forward, masked by control and authority. We have to be spiritually prepared now more than ever, because this wasn't just a warning, but a call to action. What I saw wasn't meant to scare us, but to awaken us to the reality of the spiritual battle we are in. We cannot ignore the signs, and we cannot afford to be complacent. The devil's agenda is subtle, but it's advancing under the guise of control and order. What I saw with Bill Gates and the others was just a glimpse of how far this plan had already gone. As Christians, we must stay watchful, not just spiritually, but in every aspect of our lives. We need to be careful about what we eat, the places we go, and the people we surround ourselves with. The enemy is looking for ways to manipulate and control, and it's becoming clearer that one of his goals is the reduction of humanity itself. But we aren't powerless. God is revealing these things so we can be prepared, stand firm, and resist the devil's plans through prayer, wisdom, and discernment. I urge my fellow Christians to take this message seriously. It's not just a passing thought or a strange dream. It's a clear warning from God. The plans of those in authority may be hidden from plain sight, but God is revealing them to us for a reason. We can't afford to dismiss these revelations or treat them lightly. Now, more than ever, we need to be vigilant. The enemy is working behind the scenes, using control and manipulations to carry out his plans. But as believers, we have the power to stand firm in our faith, to pray, and to seek God's guidance in all things. Let us remain watchful, discerning the times, and trusting that God is leading us every step of the way.